Hey, Mama, I remember when I wrote this, he was smiling. But I know you're still smiling down on us because we made it. We made it. We made it. Cancer that my mom was going through not only really affected myself and my family, but it pretty much affected all our friends and our family, but even, you know, those who we were working with at the Jones Clinic. Thus, Miss Betty here and all the nurses at Jones Clinic, they really not only just treated us as a you know, as a patient or as someone with a disease, but they treated us like we were family, you know. And the meaning behind the T-shirt campaign that I'm doing is not just as an artist for me just to, you know, do a shirt, have people buy it, and I got money in my pocket, but it's for a bigger cause. I didn't want, because my mom was always a giver. You know, she would give her last. It didn't matter. I remember, you know, when she was going through chemo treatments, it was around Christmas time, and her sister, grandchildren, so these are like her second nieces and nephews. They didn't really have family who, you know, had big jobs that can get them stuff for Christmas. But after one of my mom's treatments, we rode around in the rain. We went to Tuesday Morning, Target, Walmart, and she literally had a list of my little cousins' names and what to get them while she sat in the car, you know. And that's just not just what a mom does, but that's something that a giver, somebody who's a warrior, an angel, that, you know, just very selfless. And that kind of carried on to me, you know. When she left, I feel like I want to continue to do that, because that's how you get blessed. That's how, you know, things continue to happen for you. And so with this warrior campaign, I not only just wanted to do it for myself as an artist, but I wanted to give back. So the campaign, it ends on this 26th of March. So I have 8 days left. And what I'm going to do with that is the proceeds that I have, I'm going to get a portion of that is going to go to a cancer foundation here in Memphis. And the name of it is, like I said, is Warrior. We made it. And her name was Gloria DeLoach. You know, I had to put that out there. Her nickname was Duchess.
But she was more like a queen. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, she was. She was. And I just can't thank Jones Clinic. I can't thank Miss Betty enough for just being there for us as a family through this whole ordeal. And I think myself, being an artist or musician, I want to use everything that I can to give back and to show other families that, you know, you can make it through whatever fight that you're going through. And, you know, so speak the name of the song Warrior, we made it, you know. And that's my whole purpose, I think, you know.
Well, since this initiative is aimed at your mother, can you kind of reflect back on her as a person and even travel back to the time when she was battling cancer when it initially started?
Yeah, it started in 2007. I was a sophomore in college, and my grandmother actually called me one day, and it slipped out, and because they didn't want me to know. Being the youngest of 3 girls, you know, they kind of wanted everything to be, you know, nothing I didn't want to worry about. But when I found out, I continued to go to school. My mom had one treatment at a clinic in Memphis, and after that one treatment, she lost all her hair. I will never forget it. I had went out of town, and I came back. We went out of town on a cruise for my graduation with my family. My mom's hair was like down the middle of her back, you know, about right here. But when we came back, and, you know, I come in the room about to tell her about, you know, Cozumel and the cruise, and I walked in, and her and her friend were in the bathroom, and I saw she had a scarf on, you know. And so, you know, I'm 20, well, I was like 20, I think I was 22 or whatever, just young. And when she took the scarf off, it was like a piece of, I don't know, my inside that dropped. And I think that was when reality hit, that this is something serious. You know, this is not about you. It's not about my sisters. It's not about you know, the money is, this is about my mom, you know. I will never forget that day. She stopped doing chemo. Because they really scared her. You know, she was at a clinic, and I didn't even find this out until we were at the cancer support group meeting, that one of the doctors told my mom, you know, whatever faith you have, whatever God you believe in, it's not going to help. You're going to die anyway, you know.
That was not said at this clinic.
Yeah, it was not Jones Clinic. It was not Jones Clinic, but it was a clinic in Memphis, you know, that told my mom that, and, you know, we didn't know. And after that, that's when she stopped the treatments. You know, her hair started growing back. You know, she had a little fro. But then it came back again in 2010. I was about to graduate from college.
Okay, so she improved.
Yeah, after she had stopped that one treatment, she just kind of was like, you know, she just going to continue to pray, you know, keep the faith, do whatever, you know. And so she, you know, she told us that. And that was kind of hard for us as her children to be like, Mom, you gotta listen to the doctor now, you know. But she wanted to, you know. She's like, no, you know.
But you know, Margaret, that was, she had so much strength to pursue a second opinion, and that to me is such a message to put out there, because you know, doctors are not God, and you have to have faith, and you have to have hope, and yeah, there are she had a very advanced disease, and she got where she could not, that first treatment just threw her. But when I met your mom, she had decided, okay, she went for a second opinion, you know, and that takes so much courage for people to say, okay, I want to see what somebody else says, and she met Dr. Chen and Dr. Jones. And we started her on a little bit more of a gentler chemotherapy, and got her into somewhat of a managed care. In cancer, you rarely ever can cure, but you can often control the disease so that people have a quality of life. And you control it and manage it so people can love their grandchildren and go shopping and hear your daughter sing, and you know, and that's all so important. And then there's a time when if you can't control or manage the disease, you always can comfort. And I remember, you know, her last few months, she would come to the treatment room, and you know, and she would be asking other people, how are you doing? You know, she was such the warrior just describes her beyond words, because she fought to the very end.
So when did she actually succumb to cancer?
It was 2013. 2013. She it was, I can't remember the day. It was very vague right now, but I remember my sister had called me, and she had told me, because every time we came to the clinic, it was, you can ask Miss Betty, it was at least 2 or 3 people here with my mom. If it wasn't myself and my sister, myself and my grandmother, it was 2 people. And so I think it was my sister and my godmother. And my sister had called me from the clinic, and she was like, you know, they said there's nothing else, you know, they can do. And so they, you know, it kind of, it did something. You know, I instantly just started praying, and, you know, whatever, you know, God's will is, let it be done, and to help me deal with it, you know. But you can ask my mama, you know, we came in the clinic, and she would, everything was fine. She was smiling. She would, you know, and that kept me going. You know, I wrote a song actually called Brighter Day that really comes from in 2010 when she had got diagnosed again. I wanted to, you know, drop out of school and out of college, and I always talk to young people, and I tell them, you know, whatever goes on, you have to keep going regardless of what happens. And my mom pushed me to finish college, and I finished, you know, graduated with honors, you know, 4.0, and I owed it all to her. She was there at my graduation, you know, and I just, you know, I didn't know what to do when my sister told me that, but she passed in August 2013. It was on the 20th, and her birthday was August 17th. So we had just finished celebrating her 58th birthday, and she passed 3 days after. And it was so, I don't want to say ironic, but I know it was God. The day she passed at home, I was in my room, and family and everybody had came over, and I was in my room, and my dad, my grandmother kept coming in there. They was like, you don't need to be by yourself. And I said, I'm fine, you know. Phone rings. Betty. I said, oh, Lord. So Miss Betty calls, you know, and she was like, hey, Margaret, just want to call, check on, see how you're doing. How's your mom? And I was like, Miss Betty, she passed this morning with her. And you know, Miss Betty was like, it was a pause for a while, and then she was like, I'm so sorry. You know, she was like, if there's anything we could do, just let us know. Your mom, you know, she just continued to encourage during that dark time, you know, and it had just happened, you know, but for her to call me was like, oh my God, like, really, Miss Betty gonna call? But it was at the right time, something that I needed to hear, and for her to, you know, like I said earlier, she was really the spearhead of me, because I said earlier about it's not just a physical thing. What were you saying? Is you know,
the disease isn't just a physical battle, but it's an emotional battle and a spiritual battle, and you cannot separate those two. Her mom was very involved in the support group. We do several different kind of support groups here, but she would always come in, and the greatest smile ever, just the greatest smile. And
we could have had the worst of the worst week.
But she would
come,
and
she was like, we going to the meeting. I was like, okay. I get in, you know, I mean, down from when she couldn't even walk.
Really?
You know, we had to get a wheelchair. She wanted to come to the group meeting. And I think it was because she knew it would help me, because I would tell her at home, like, Mom, it's almost 1 o'clock. We got to start heading on that. You know, I would, you know, get her ready, and we would go to the support meeting. You know,
you remember the day when you and your grandmother?
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, we just had a ball.
Yeah.
And it's people. This group isn't for just one particular kind of cancer, because you have breast cancers and you have colon cancers, but it's every kind. And Don Marston is our co-facilitator, and he's a Baptist pastor and a 2-time cancer survivor. And so it's just a joy that people of all different kind of journeys can come together with this one common thread, and that's hope. And you know, and I feel very honored that in this group we always close in prayer. If you're in a hospital or something like that, you know, can't do that. But you know, if you can't take God out of this journey, because He's right there. And in oncology, especially now, there is so much new stuff coming down, new drugs, new protocols. There is true hope. But your mama was the picture of that, because she never gave up. And a lot of it was because of you, Margaret. And that day, Margaret shared the song in group, and
which one are you talking about? Time or Warrior?
Warrior. The first time you sang Warrior.
Oh, the first time, yeah.
Yeah, the first time you sang
Warrior.
Warrior.
Why did I sing it?
Because your mama said it.
Miss Betty had.
Oh,
we were. The guy that always comes with his wife, but last time she couldn't make it.
Oh,
what's his
Jerry.
name? Jerry. This is a guy named Jerry and his wife. They always come to group.
And he's been battling cancer 22 years.
22 years.
22 years.
He comes faithfully every Saturday, and it was that moment he was talking, and he was like, "We are all just warriors. You know, we've all fighting, and so when he was talking, you know, God was like, every time I talk to somebody, I put that in my phone. I have to make that a song, and so I had already put it in my phone. I was like, Warrior support meeting, save. After I saved it, Miss Betty, we still in the meeting. Miss Betty was like, Margaret, you should write a song. And I was like, really?
I don't know.
And she was like, yeah, write a song for those who, because they have Jones Clinic has a song that she said you all sing.
Oh, when someone finishes up their chemo, and this is not anything that Margaret would probably roll our eyes. But the nurses gather around and we sing this song
Yeah.
about, you know, chemo and you're done, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just kind of a silly thing, but it's amazing because when you're in the treatment room and there's all these people and the chairs are full and somebody's got their last treatment, and all of a sudden you've got these people coming out and you sing this song and it's silly and we're off key and it's not that great, but I've had other people say, when I get done, am I going to get a song? And I said, oh, baby, you're going to get a song, you know. But, I mean, it's just something, it's a celebration. And every little moment in oncology and the treatment, it's a celebration. And that's what we have to do.
Now, you mentioned your song, Warrior. Can you kind of open up a little bit more about your actual hip-hop career and when it started, and was your mom involved with your music before she passed?
Yes.
Or motivated, you know?
Yeah, she was very vital in my music career. I actually started writing when I was 12. My mother and my father, they had separated when I was 12, and at that moment, you know, I was in middle school, and you know, I would write all the time. It wasn't always positive, but I would just to release. I would just write stuff, and as I got older, because I started off just freestyling, you know, just whatever came to the top of my mind. I'll be in the hallways, at the lockers, and just, you know, my friends like, say something, spit something, you know, that's what they call it, say something, whatever, and I just, you know, whatever came to mind. And then kind of when I got into high school, I had people around me who knew that I rapped, but it, you know, not everybody knew. It was something just the crew knew, you know, we'll be beating in the lunchroom with pencils or whatever, and but I had one person, a couple of people in school, they were like, you need to start doing that more. And my mom would push me into doing like talent shows and all that type of stuff. And so I started doing talent shows in high school, and I entered them in 11th grade, 12th grade, and my mom was at every last one. And I remember one that I did, she came up to me afterwards and she said, you know, when people come up to you after a performance and they go, oh, you did good, she said, you know, I don't say thank you, but I just say God is good, you know, just, you know, and to hone off it on me, but to put it back, you know, on why I'm doing it and what it was for, you know, I was like, you know, God is good, you know, God is good, you know, and they will always be like, oh, okay, that is so, like, okay, you know, it kind of threw them off key sometimes. I got in a new church. Once they separated, we went to a new church, New Growth in Christ. I've been going there since I was 12. And so that was our new church home. And it was a youth group. And my mom was like, you need to get involved in something. And, you know, I was always shy. You know, I didn't always sing. I didn't always, you know, you can ask my grandmother, you know, they would always try to put me in the forefront of things, and I never did it. I was always kind of just, I rap to my sisters, my cousins, but I would never do it in front of people. And my mom was like, get in the group. And I was like, no, I'm straight, get in the group. It was one girl who sung and played the keyboard. There were two guys who rapped. So I came, and they were like, what can you do? And I was like, sing and rap, you know. And my first performance, out of all my performances, this was my first performance, was 12 years old in front of pretty much a lot of older people. It was a back to school program at church. Handed me the mic. I spit like a 16 bars, you know, line. Everybody stood up and was shouting and screaming, and I was like, I can get used to this. You know, I like this. Okay, they liked it. You know, that's just my little stuff. You know, that's how I thought. I was like, y'all like that. And so I think after that moment, it was like, okay. And so I stayed in that group for 13, 14, 15, 16, you know. Now I'm on my way to college. Didn't really know what I wanted to major in. I wanted to be a pediatrician because I loved kids. But I knew I wanted to do something that I would wake up to every morning and just want to just have a passion for it, yearning for it. And I majored in music and business, you know. So I've been doing it since I was 12, just starting off, just, you know, losing. But my mom would always push me. She was at every performance. She was pretty much, she would hate me to say it because she said I always fire her, but she was my manager, you know what I'm saying? But she said I would fire her every now and then. But, you know, she was that person who, you know, helped me with my emails, helped me talking to people what to say. You know, this organization said this and did me wrong. They were supposed to pay. I mean, it's been many a times I've had to deal with, you know, compensation issues and stuff. You know, me being you know, her daughter, you know, I would sometimes I'll cry. I'll just be like, Mom, what did I do? She will always be that calm, you know, Margaret, just listen. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay. Okay, I can do that. Okay. You know, she was that calming just to keep me, you know, mellow where I can continue to keep going. And so, you know, once she passed, I think it kind of threw me for a loop for a minute. It was like, what am I going to do now? You know, do I need to find a manager? Do I need, you know, but I was like, I can do this, you know. But, you know, God continues to put people in my life. Miss Gamblin, who, you know, has a family, has everybody, you know, she has a lot of other stuff going on, but she's been there for me, you know, my sisters, my grandmother. I think, you know, everybody just continues to support me. And I think that's a part of my mom being gone, to kind of, I guess, feel that, you know, even though it can't be feel, but they're kind of helping to, you know, cope with it, yeah, you know, keep it going. The support meeting is something I definitely have to continue to go to as well, that they put on here.
Now, I know you mentioned performances. Can you kind of touch on the last performance that your mom seen of you?
Yes. Give me one moment. I just,
I know you said something about the cancer.
Yes,
Cancer
that was
June 2nd.
we had to,
It was the Survivors Day.
yeah, it was the National Cancer Survivors Days on June the 6th.
Yes.
Oh, June.
But they celebrated on June the 2nd.
Okay.
And we went to the Cancer Survivors Park, which is behind like the Oak Court Mall, and that's where they do the walks and all that. But it's a beautiful park. You know, definitely go check it out. It's a beautiful park. My mom had told Miss Betty and all the nurses that I sung, and so when I wrote the Warrior song, I thought it would be cool to do it at the Cancer Survivors Day. And I remember that day I was getting my mom ready, and we had to wear a color that represent either the cancer that you know survived or someone that you know survived. And my mom had put on white, and which is for lung cancer, and I was like, why you put on white? You know, and she, you know, it started off as breast cancer, but it later moved to her bones and the lungs and all that. And so when she wore white, I said, okay, you know, do you know, she was walking with a cane at the time. I remember I drove, and they had her under the little tent, actually where the sound guy was. She was under there, and she was sitting down. We took a picture. I always post that picture on Facebook and everything. And that was the last performance I did. I had the keyboard, and I would always practice my songs in front of my mom. And so Warrior was the last song, and she's a songwriter in and of herself. She write a lot of poetry. That's what she said I got it from. She's like, you got it from me. But she loves to write, and so every time I come to her with a song, she'll say, they don't make sense. Rewrite that. What does that mean? And as an artist, you're like, what you mean? Mama, it says, this is what it da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, I don't get it. We're not going to understand that. And so, you know, that helped me to, you know, get out of my feelings, but to go back and rewrite and to change it and go right back in front of her, play it and sing. She's like, okay, I get it now. You know,
So
it helped me be a better, you know, not just to think about how I feel when I'm writing it, but the people who's going to hear it. And I remember when I wrote Warrior, and after I changed it, I think I only had to change it one time, which was a blessing, because usually I had to go back with my mama. But I only changed it one time, and when I sung it, she was like, perfect. That's all she said. And I think she was watching football, honestly, because she, you know, into sports. And so when I'm trying to do something, I have to turn the TV off. And I'm like, Mama, did you hear the song? She said, yeah, perfect. And I'm like, really? You know, it's like, really? She's like, yeah, perfect. You know, and so that was the last song that, you know, she helped me with, and the last song that she heard me do. And she would brag to everybody and anybody about, you know, that performance that day. She like, it was so... She would call it, she said it was just so smooth, so perfect. You know, it was just it, you know.
Do you mind provide some of the lyrics from the song?
Yes, I would. I wouldn't mind. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. I'm a warrior. 'Cause I made it through the fight. You a warrior. 'Cause you made it through the fight. Forget what they said. You a warrior for the rest of your days.
That's amazing.
That's the that's
Okay.
That might get you.
that's the chorus of the song.
That's
And
nice.
you know, every time I perform it, like I think I was talking to a producer the other day, and
Beautiful
just,
voice.
you know, thank you. It's I think it's different. My songs are different from before August 20th, 2013. Prior to that, you know, I was performing, but now it's a whole nother. It's different. You know, it's me singing these songs, not just to sing them, but I had to live through this, and I think, you know, with Brighter Day, Keep Going, Warrior, you know, this is something that I don't just do for the claps. I do it because, listen, this is what I was going, and I know I'm not the only one. I think as an artist, as a person, period, you always want to give back, and I think being graced and blessed with a voice, I just want to continue to give that hope, you know, to people, and through music, through song, through writing, you know, and I believe that's what I'm here for, you know, just to continue to do that. That's why I'm so grateful to be able to still be sitting here today, you know, because I had to survive a lot of things to get here myself, you know, and I just want to continue to keep going, you know, for my mom and for those coming after me, most definitely.
Okay. Well, just lastly, Dee, can you kind of touch on your upcoming EP and what people can expect from it, or what you want them to get from it?
Yes, I just want people to be inspired, you know. It was a very emotional time in the studio, as Yvonne would know, where I invited family and friends to come. And I have 4 songs on the EP, and plus one, I'm adding a bonus track on there as well. And I just want them to get hope, be encouraged, to be inspired. It's coming out June the 7th is actually going to be my release day, where I'm going to have a release party and everything. But mid-May, end of May, I'm going to release it digitally. But it's called The New Norm. We made it. The new norm coming from when we had to put my mom in the hospice. They would always send letters and stuff after my mom had passed. And this one letter that I got, I was reading it, and these words just popped out. It says, you know, we're going to help you with, you know, your new normal life. And I was like, what does that, you know, it kind of struck me, and I'm like, what does that mean, you know, the new normal life? And God just really had to, you know, bring it to my memory. It's like, you know, this is your life, you know. It's your normal life. You know, everybody has a normal life, but it's new. You know, without my mom here, it's a whole new perspective. You know, when I'm in the car after my performance, I usually call my mom and be like, let me tell you what the lady did after. You know, she was that person, and I would just call. But now it's like I had to delete a number from my phone because, you know, I couldn't even just, you know, to look at it. But you know, it's the new normal. It's the new norm, you know, for me. And I think even with my music, it's new from what I did when I was in college. You know, my earlier music, you know, you can find it on, you know, my website, ButtaMD.com, Bandcamp and all that. But it's different from that until now. I think in between that time, God really worked me on myself and who I was and who He want me to be. And so I think I honed into it. Still have some, you know, work to do, but I think I'm getting to that point. And I just want this EP to just, you know, even with Warrior, with I Survived, Late Night Prayer, and Time. Those are the songs in Brighter Day. You know, just those titles to me, I'd be like, man, that's so. But I was going through that. You know, these are songs that I was, you know, writing, sitting, you know, while my mom was getting treatment. These are songs I was writing, you know, waking up in the middle of the morning, you know, in the middle of the morning, you know, 1, 2, when, you know, I hear my mama doing something, or she, you know, need to get up, you know, these were those times I would just write because, you know, I really I couldn't talk to people because some people wouldn't really understand, and even if they could, they wouldn't really help me where I needed them to be because it's like you're not here. My sister and I, we was there every day with my mom, and it's a fight. It was a fight.
How this is going to encourage so many people, and how strong you've been to share this part of your life and through the pain. So, God's going to bless this, Margaret. Good girl.
Well, I'm glad to see you actually providing a project in your mom's honor, and I wish you much success, and I know that you're going to do great things moving forward. God willing. You do have an amazing voice.
You should hear her when she really tries.
He was smiling. Well, I know you're still smiling down on us because we made it.